Good evening, this is Lynx. Sometimes I think we spend too much time planning for things and not enough time seeing what magic is in the moment. We're always looking forward to things that we're wishing for, hoping for, and those of us who divine for people, especially who divine for people professionally, we see things all the time that people are looking forward to, planning, or hoping for, wanting to make happen, and I think that we miss what's going on in the present quite often. So as an experiment, I'm going to see, I haven't planned anything for this video. I'm going to see if there's something using just a deck of playing cards. Because I think that sometimes if we rely on our talent and trust our talent and trust ourselves, sometimes something comes out that we don't expect. So if we really want miracles, people are saying, they like to use, the idea that we expect miracles. You see that on posters with kitties, expect miracles. Well, what happens if we rely on our talents and see what comes out at the moment? So I'm doing that right now, and as I was shuffling these and taking this came out, 7 of Hearts, right? So the power of silence is the subject of this then. So my intention of this video is there something that I can do? What can I come up with for people in the moment that will help them? So the power of silence, right? Okay, so the key to this video for you guys is the power of silence. Where in your life can silence serve you? Okay, so what happened was these all came out here, right? All right, so let me see if I can come up with an exercise or something for you guys to do. So the first piece I want you to consider is, where in your life could you be more silent, or how could silence serve you? The first question I want you guys to ask yourself, using whatever oracle you choose to use, is how does silence affect your confidence? What emerges in relation to your confidence when you are silent? That's a question that you guys can ask yourself and throw a card for, or two, or whatever. You could take any one of these and use this as an exercise, or you could use all of these as an exercise. So when I am silent, how does it affect my confidence, or what does it do for my confidence when I'm silent? Am I afraid to be silent because of my confidence? What does silence teach me about my confidence? Second one. How could silence influence my relationships and my success in relation to how I interact with larger groups of people? So I guess this is in how we relate to larger groups of people, how we interact with people. How could silence affect that? Where in my life would silence have made me more prosperous? And here's another thing. How does silence affect our attractiveness? Or how we perceive our attractiveness, or how we could interact with other people? What would happen if I was silently enjoying something that brings me pleasure? What if I just allowed myself to experience pleasure without any commentary? What would I learn? In silence, when I find myself limited in my security, what would happen if I remained silent? Instead of worrying about it, talking about it, going over it, and indulging in other people's opinions about security. So I guess the nature of this exercise is to apply silence in each one of these cases and to see what the gift is that it brings. What if you applied silence rather than what you normally do? The next one is, what if I applied silence to a message that I did not like? What would I learn about myself? The next one is, what would happen if I remained silent about my good fortune and simply appreciated it myself and took it in without showing it off? And then the last one, the final one, is, what would happen to me if I spent an hour a day in silence? I didn't plan any of this before I did the video because there's a couple of layers here. The first layer is, what happens when we trust ourselves enough to allow our talents to emerge in a situation where we need them? We spend so much time planning and worrying and trying to get things right and trying to prepare what we want to say when someone else is speaking to us and trying to prepare how we want to show ourselves, and we spend so much time worrying about the future. What would happen if we just in this moment relied on our talents? And so in this moment, I simply decided to rely on my experience and see what I could come up with, and would I come up with, and could I come up with an exercise that you guys might find valuable and might help you guys. So this exercise is about what would happen if you applied silence to a moment where you weren't feeling so confident and just remained silent instead of allowing anything else to emerge. Just allow silence to be there. No worry, no apologizing, no chatter. How would silence influence your interactions with larger groups of people? What do you learn if you remain silent in a larger group of people? In terms of how you view yourself and your own attractiveness or unattractiveness, how will that affect how people perceive you, are attracted to you or not, if you decided to remain silent? What might that do in that situation? What would happen to your pleasure if you decided to remain silent and simply enjoy the pleasure without any commentary, without any, oh, I wish I could have this again, without anything else, but simply enjoying it in silence? In relation to security, in relation to other people's messages, in relation to your own success, and in relation to your spiritual practice. What would happen if you applied silence? I'd really like to know how this worked for you guys. Try it and see. I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you'd like to schedule a reading with me, my number is 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. If you'd like to learn how to read the playing cards, how to read the tarot, how to read a crystal ball, how to read Mexican Loteria cards, or how to read the Lenormand, I also have some virtual classes, and I'd be happy to let you know about how to register for them, what the cost is, and what's involved in each. Try this exercise on silence, and then try the other exercise. We're in a situation where you're not quite sure how you want to approach it, to just allow yourself to be surprised in the moment with your own talent. It takes a lot of faith and a lot of silence to be able to do so. But I think you might get something out of it.